The Spigaroli name, as well as being synonymous with good food, will from now on be linked more and more with the production of culatelli and salumi. To make a good salumi, you need a good pig, born and bred according to the old ways, and fed correctly. The pig needs to live in the open air for some of its life, and then be moved to a pen so it can relax and reach the weight of 260 to 280 kilos and more. Here they grow the cereals that the animals eat: maize, barley, beans, bran. The same things pigs would have eaten 150 years ago. Now we are entering the secret world of Culatello. We begin by cutting away the hide from the haunch, then we section it, and only the softest and most important muscle mass will become a culatello. From a haunch weighing 20 to 22 kilos, only 6 to 7 kilos will be privileged enough to become a culatello. Massaging the meat with Fortana wine and garlic is very important, then the addition of salt and pepper. Neither anti-fermentatives nor preserving agents are added, just like in the old days. We leave the mass to rest for 4 or 5 days, so that the salt can begin its work. And then it is placed in a pig bladder, which has been cleaned and regenerated in vinegar. The sewing up of the culatello is hugely important, tight and close-fitting so that air can't get in. Equally important is the tying up. The culatello must be strung tightly in order to put the mass under pressure. Finally, the culatello is pricked all over so that the liquids can begin to leach out. So here is the renowned Spigaroli culatello, made today like in the old days, created with few tools, great dexterity, and the knowledge handed down from within the family. But this is only 30% of the work. The maturing phase will decide the fate of the culatello. After the initial drying out phase, it will begin a journey, following the ways of nature, where the houses are still covered in ivy in summer to keep them cool, and where the windows are opened and closed every day, according to the weather. In July, the final transhumance to the 14th century cellars of the Corte Pallavicina, originally built by the Marquis for the maturing of those culatelli admired and sought after by kings, dukes and emperors. Time here has stood still. For over 700 years, fresh air has blown through the great north window facing onto the River Po, passing through the cellars and out through the tiny windows to the west. There are no windows to the south. The walls ooze damp, and the noble moulds, so important for this product, pass from the older mature culatelli to the younger ones. No, nothing has changed. They managed, and are proud of it. Here, in the months of October and November, the fog creeps into the cellars, caressing the culatelli, softening them, and beginning what Massimo calls their metamorphosis, as the meat gradually transforms into culatello. As their father used to say, you mustn't be in a hurry. Time is on your side, working for you. So different from the modern ways with technological innovations. The culatelli begin to be ready after around 15 to 18 months, but can be matured to a more complex state at 35 to 40 months. Having moved them from high up to low down in the cellars, to nearer and farther away from the walls, the culatelli have lost about 50% of their weight. But the labour is not over, for this important craft product must be prepared for the cut. First the knotting is removed, and then the bladder, followed by the cording. Then a cloth is moistened with white wine, and the culatello is wrapped in it and left for 2 days. And only then is it ready to be cut into. What a marvellous thing! What pride! What satisfaction! Just think of the tradition which has gone into this. Remember, it must be sliced thinly at room temperature. The story of their culatello is over, and it has been Massimo Spigaroli's pleasure to tell you about it. But even if it had been his great-grandfather Carlo, recounting it 2 centuries ago, you can be assured that the story would have been exactly the same.